Hello, my lovelies. I am here to talk about a very serious and at times disturbing subject. So sit back, relax, and hold on to your butts, because we're about to dive right in. Starting in the early 1990s, an uprising of a particularly volatile genre film started surfacing on the movie scene. I am, of course, talking about video game movie remakes. If you've ever had the displeasure of watching one of these movies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most video games have very little plot to develop a movie based on, but luckily, Hollywood doesn't give two shits about whether a movie needs a plot or not. So let's take a look back at some of these steaming turds, while also giving praise to a few decent ones that did manage to not totally suck. Starting off as one of the earliest video game remakes is the tremendously terrible Super Mario Bros. Movie, released in 1993. I just don't get it. This movie had a great cast, starring actors such as Dennis Hopper, Bob Hoskins, and John Leguizamo. Now, I don't blame John Leguizamo for taking up his role, as he didn't really have any large movie roles before this movie. But Dennis Hopper and Bob Hoskins? What are you guys doing? Both had very distinguished careers by this point, and then you decided this was a good idea? Did they both have the same agent who was paid off by the director to tell them this was a good idea? Like, what the hell is this? Are those tiny heads back there supposed to be Goombas and Koopas? Oh god! Oh god, no! Okay, let's move on before these flashbacks give me an aneurysm. After Super Mario Bros. Flopped, the studios decided, oh hey, that went great, let's try it again. And thus, in 1994, the legendary turd Street Fighter was born. Let's take a game that literally has no plot to it. You just mash buttons and fight, and then turn that into a blockbuster. No problem! To take away from the terrible script they wrote, they decided to bring some big faces in. Thus we see actors such as action superstar Jean-Claude Van Damme, who played Guile in the film, and played a cocaine addict outside the film. Raul Julia, who was a respected actor at the time. You may recognize him from playing Gomez Addams in the Addams Family movie. And in Street Fighter, he played the evil M. Bison. And finally, Kylie Minogue, the Australian-British superstar, known both for her singing and acting, apparently. In this movie, she played the MI6 operative Cammy. While this movie was a box office success, that doesn't mean it's any good. It's easy to trick people to go watch a movie in theaters, but it is much more difficult to make them like your abomination of a movie.
You'll have to do better than that, okay?
After these movies were curb-stomped by critics and fans alike, it seemed like the movie studios learned their lessons. In the following year, the first decent, in my opinion, video game movie was born. Mortal Kombat, another movie based off of a fighting video game. With a pretty stellar soundtrack with the widely recognizable Mortal Kombat theme song, which, as a side note, was actually released in 1993, but only gained notoriety when it was used in the Mortal Kombat movie in 1995. Anyways, back to the main point. This movie offered some entertaining fight scenes with some decent CG for the time, along with some big-name actors, which made it an overall decent film. If you disagree with me, well, you're wrong. And I'm gonna Liu Kang bicycle kick your ass back to where you came from. Now, fast forward several years into the early 2000s, and we're met by a couple more decent video game movies. Lara Croft Tomb Raider and the start of the Resident Evil series. With decent plots and some big-named actors like Angelina Jolie and Mila Jovovich to back it up, they actually did quite well at the box office, and both of them spawning at least one sequel, or in the case of Resident Evil, 5. After these successes over the next 7 years, has Hollywood finally figured out how to make a decent movie adaptation of video games? Oh no, what's Uwe Boll doing over there? Crap, looks like he's making a movie. Well everybody, buckle up for this one. Coming from the most hated director of all time, Uwe Boll, comes House of the Dead. Based on a light gun arcade shooter game comes this inevitable turd. Uwe Boll, who is famous for not giving a crap about making a good movie, nor trying to please fans, funds his own movies with his own production studios, almost as if to purposely make terrible movies and piss off fans. Having a cast of nobodies along with a plot that I'm not even sure could be called a plot. Everyone is still trying their best to forget this movie exists, and that's just one more big middle finger from Uwe Boll in the books. Now, over the next 10 or so years, there's several more decent adaptations, along with many more truly awful ones, including a couple more movie abortions created by Uwe Boll. God, I wish that guy would just go away. And we find ourselves within a few years of the present. With bigger budgets and better technology, it seems that video game movies are starting to get better. The best movie in this list, again, in my opinion, is Prince of Persia. It had a pretty decent plot, with really good special effects and some big superstars, such as Jake Gyllenhaal and the always brilliant Ben Kingsley. Now, having never played the actual game, I can't say it offended me by not staying true to the game, but that part aside, I thought it held up quite well as a standalone movie, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. It has some great action and fight sequences that I think would be enough to entertain really anyone. Alright, let's now move to the present day. It seems that Hollywood wants to take on some video game titans. With a lot of trailer buzz that was going around, I'm sure at this point everyone has seen the trailer for Detective Pikachu, the new movie coming out set in the world of Pokemon. Let's hope for their sake that Warner Brothers has done their absolute best in trying to create an entertaining movie that also captures the essence of Pokemon, with fight sequences that are visually appealing. Because if you piss off Pokemon fans, you are in for a world of hurt, my friend. With the huge popularity of Ryan Reynolds, choosing him to be in the movie is a good move. However, to have him voice Pikachu? I still don't know if I'm on board with that. He just doesn't seem like the Pikachu type to me. But who knows, maybe he'll do good. I really hope he does do good. I would hate for another disappointment the size of the live-action Dragon Ball Z movie. Also slated for release in 2019, for which I just saw the trailer for, is a live-action Sonic movie. Oh god, I don't know about this one, guys. Sonic himself looked a little janky, and perhaps a little too much like a stuffed animal that was left in the dumpster for the last year. And I'm never ever gonna forget those just awful looking teeth, which a lot of people are up in arms about. Now, some of the special effects I saw for Sonic were pretty good, so I'm still hopeful. I was on board with the Sonic idea until I saw who was playing Dr. Robotnik. Jim Carrey, no! Dr. Robotnik is an eccentric and a little quirky at times, but not like Jim Carrey quirky. As more of a goofy, crazy, over-the-top energetic quirky, which I really don't think fits Dr. Robotnik at all. Now this is another movie I really hope doesn't screw the pooch, although I don't think flopping on the Sonic franchise would have as much backlash from the fans as flopping on the Pokemon movie. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this journey through the world of video game movie remakes. If you like what you saw, please let us know in the comments and give this video a like. If you didn't like what you saw, well, please still give us a like. Please. Oh god, please. Anyways, that's all for now, and we'll see you next time.